Hello and welcome to the Serpent Temple podcast. This week we are doing a big bonanza Bloodstock review. So Floyd and I were there. I was only there from Saturday and Sunday because I was playing. But Floyd was there the whole week.
I was there for the whole week, yeah, from the Wednesday through to the Monday morning, which is the most depressing day of the week, seeing everybody just barely alive, packing up their tents. First and foremost, how did you find playing it? Did you?
Fucking sick.
Yeah, it was a
Very
great set,
cool.
by the way. Thank
you so much. It's very kind of you to say. I was last there in 2012, and it's barely changed, which is actually very comforting.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
That's one. Do you know what? It's got that real family feel to it. I think because it is run by the Gregory family. I think first and foremost, there's a few other people like Simon Hall, who I think is responsible for a lot of the Sophie stage and New Blood
and
stage.
Us. Thank you, Simon Hall. Yeah.
And it's, do you know what? I saw a lot of kids there this year as well, actually.
So many kids.
It's got a really good sort of friendly, welcoming atmosphere, which I think is one of the, to quote a business phrase, one of the USPs of the festival.
Definitely. There's a really, really positive vibe. Like, we really noticed. I was a bit anxious going in. I was like, oh, what's this going to be like? Are people going to be on edge? Because, once you're in the festival, you've got to show your lateral flow test. But once you're in, there were, like, basically no rules. No one's wearing a mask. Everyone's hugging each other. It just felt like nothing had changed.
Yeah, it was really weird. And we were kind of saying that when we camped up. We're like, it's crazy how this is the first one in 2 years, yet it felt so quickly familiar.
Yeah.
And just settled into things so quickly. Yeah. We're like, oh, we thought this would be weirder, but it was a good thing because it was like really kind of nurturing sense of familiarity.
Definitely.
So I was so sure I was going to fuck up that word, familiarity there. I always have trouble with that word. But one thing I noticed, actually, which I think a lot of people picked up on, with there being no download this year, because you had the download pilot, which was a success, but that was only a fraction of the
10,000 people, right?
Yeah, of the people that go to that festival. So I got the impression there was a lot of people who would have went to Bloodstock instead this year. Because there was a lot more, I don't want to say normie kind of metalheads, but like a lot more of a kind of
less underground.
Yeah, more of like a standard sort of like heavy music audience. And I think, because I tell you what, the campsites were more packed than they'd ever been.
Were they? I didn't go in the campsites.
Yeah, so it was, and I think that definitely added to the atmosphere as well, just because it was really fucking bustling. And I've never seen the Sophie tent packed out as much as I have for acts. There'd be certain times during festivals and during Bloodstocks in the past where if a Sophie band was clashing with a main stage band, even if they were a particularly big main stage band, the crowd would be a little bit kind of middling and dwindled, but every band almost had a full tent, including the New Blood tent.
Yeah.
So it was it was just great. It was great to see a return to live music, and for the most part, everything seemed pretty safe and by the books. I think people were being somewhat responsible. As responsible as you would expect 25,000 metalheads to be.
No one spat directly into my eyeballs, thankfully.
I was thinking about it, but I decided against it.
It was pretty safe. I know quite a few people have had festival flu, me and you included. We felt a little bit rough for a few days.
Sorry.
There you go. Case in point.
That's just for a bit of a disclaimer. I absolutely shredded my voice to Judas Priest. So my vocal cords are repairing a bit, which is why I have to cough, because speaking irritates my cords.
I could have brought you some Vocal Zone.
Yeah, I still need to try them. You mentioned them to me years ago. I still need to buy some.
You'd love them because you like Fisherman's Friends.
Yeah, I like Fisherman's Friends.
Yeah, you'll like there's different flavors now, but it's like kind of having like a kind of small tropical storm inside your head.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like meth. Nah, it doesn't sound like
meth. Does it sound like meth?
I don't know. I've never taken meth. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we know one person who's been doing meth that's been saying some spicy takes this week.
Whoa.
Hey, whoa.
There he is.
But wino aside, Bloodstock is the main focus. Yeah, it's bloody fantastic, and I thought I was going to have like a panic attack or something, being around like literally tens of thousands of people again, but I was totally fine. It was just like being surrounded by loads of old friends.
They're really good at kind of, for such a small festival in comparison, bit gas, to the bigger European ones. It's they do a really good job of still managing to create enough space for 20-odd thousand people to kind of not bump into each other too much.
Definitely.
Which is why Damnation is going to be fucking interesting.
I don't know how they're going to do Damnation.
Because that is always a squash.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
And
we'll see
the
how that
new
goes.
lineup is fantastic. I
Yeah.
like it more than the old lineup.
Yeah, I think quite a few people
Yeah.
have said that, because I think from on the Damnation Twitter anyway, I think they were a bit apprehensive about posting it because they lost all the American bands.
Yeah.
And obviously Pig Destroy being a big coup, but fuck it. I mean, who wouldn't be happy with Carcass?
Carcass, and then they've added Cryptic Shift, who are alumni of the Serpent Temple podcast.
Great. I'll definitely be watching Cryptic Shift.
Green Lung have been added too, I think.
Yeah, Party Cannon.
Yeah.
So obviously they pulled out of Bloodstock, unfortunately. So it would be good to catch them at Damnation.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, this lineup is more expensive than the previous lineup.
Yeah, I could probably believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Carcass is probably super bloody expensive.
Yeah, and Paradise Lost playing Gothic in full.
Oh,
so
yeah, I forgot about that.
Us Paradise Lost fans, me and Shem, we'll get to see.
Yeah.
So we've seen Draconian Times, now Gothic. So
Yeah, we had to delay the Lowen set by almost half an hour because Paradise Lost were like 20 minutes late going on. And, like, because we were in the Jaeger stage, we couldn't play at the same time because it would clash with Paradise Lost. So we just stood there on stage watching Paradise Lost
Yeah.
for 20 minutes, just being like, sorry, guys. So great. It was fantastic. We had a great view, yeah.
yeah, I just remember just waiting for your set to start and just hearing "Say just words to me." In the back. That was my Creed version of that Paradise
I
Lost song.
like it. You could do a covers band.
It's more like James Hetfield. Go on.
You reckon it's a bit
Say
heavy?
just words to me.
I said that once about Nick, and people looked at me like I was talking fucking gibberish. He literally does sound like James Hetfield.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard the James Hetfield mashup where he's like, "I love Opeth"? Like Michael Ackerfeld is great.
No?
It's really good. It's a very specific thing and not interesting at all if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we'll show it to you after the
You need to
podcast.
pull that shit up afterwards. I'm
yeah.
game for that.
It's so good.
I think first and foremost, I've been speaking for about 10 fucking minutes. I want to say just a big well done to the whole team for putting that shit together.
Hell
That
yeah.
must have been fucking tough, because I tell you what, there was a lot of bands pulling out with like the last minute COVID cases, and with Ginger being added and then removed. And what a sterling job of still putting ahead a festival against all fucking odds.
Yes.
So great job to Vicky, Adam, and just the whole Gregory family and the team, and Simon Hall. I mean, what a great fucking monumental effort. And especially considering how much metal fans were craving something like this. I think it was like a pick-me-up that a lot of people needed.
I think it was a mental health boost for a significant number of people,
Yeah.
for sure. Like we like me and Shem, we felt like we just felt like we'd gone through like a mental health shower. You know, like in space films, they go in like the shower when they come back from space in case like the deadly viruses, like the killer space viruses on them. Okay, maybe this isn't the best analogy, but like afterwards we were just like, oh, I feel clean. Like mentally, I just feel so much more light and free and just more positive and happy. Like we needed that social boost for sure.
And I think the fans were a bit more hygienic than normal. Normally you go to a metal
true.
festival and
was less smelly.
You could tell that few of the pundits hadn't showered a week prior to attending the festival. So yeah, it was a good thing, having people being a bit more conscious of hygiene and stuff. There's a few sanitizing stations about, which are actually quite welcome, because talking a bit about the food stalls that were there, it was we
sticky.
frequented the rotisserie chicken
Oh my god.
stall, which I personally loved and was a lifesaver for me throughout the festival. And, you know, I would rather spend £9 on a half chicken and some chips and gravy than £9 on a really fucking bland, tiny chicken wrap.
Yeah, I get you.
I'm not going to name other stalls there that I thought would be an extortionate.
Name and shame. Name and shame.
Texas Smokehouse as well, who are great as always. They do the
Nice.
barbecue wings, and they had sold out their ribs within the first half an hour.
Oh, no
So that
way.
allocated amount of ribs for the entire 5 days were gone within the first half an hour.
Wow.
But they do great wings. And yeah, and that's why I was glad there was more sanitizer stations. My hands were fucking caked in
Post-chicken.
barbecue sauce and chicken juice the entire weekend.
So funny. It's imagine you walking around with like brown hands, like hold them in the air because they're sticky. It's like like in the middle of a pit. Like
The worst is when you walk out the portaloo with brown chicken shit over your hands. Sorry, ran out of
hate it
toilet
when
roll.
that
Just use my
happens.
hands instead. But
use the actual chicken.
yeah, but yeah, it was so I was there from the Wednesday, and it was I tried to make a concerted effort to watch more bands, and I've made a little rundown of some of the bands that I've watched.
Go for it.
And so we set up a little bit late on Wednesday, but I caught a little bit of Ward 16.
Yeah.
which is spelt in Roman numerals, so it's Ward XIV. Oh, sorry, XVI.
Yes.
And they were kind of cool. I caught like the latter half of their set. They were kind of like folky and theatrical. And one of the people on stage kind of looked a bit like a matey boy from Slipknot, Chris Fenn, the one with the long nose.
Oh, yeah.
One of the dudes got kicked out of the band recently, to the point where I said, I wonder if that is actually Chris Fenn.
Oh.
But it wasn't. But
It was a plague doctor mask, isn't it?
yeah, it was kind of like a version of that. But they seemed quite cool. I actually wished I caught more of their set. And then caught a bit of Raised by Owls, who are kind of like a really humor-conscious death grind band. So we actually got handed a leaflet for their set while we were camped up, and it was a picture of Ainsley Harriott, like a cherubic Ainsley Harriott, and it was about advertising the second coming of him. And because I think they've got a
Wait,
song.
is he dead?
No, he's alive.
Okay,
I think
when you
that's
said
part of
second
the
humming,
joke.
I was like, what?
I think it's ever since he became a bit of a meme with the
Meme,
whole
yeah.
give your meat a good old rub,
Oh,
which is
yeah. I just love the meme where he's like, you know, the acid one, where he'd like they deconstruct him until he's got like red eyes and it's just like waves.
yeah,
I
it's
love
just
that
fucking
meme.
trippy. But there was some crazy shit going on during their set. Yeah, they had excerpt. They had plain sound clips from the Chuckle Vision theme.
Amazing.
Fucking Mr. Blobby came out with a double-ended
Fuck
dildo.
that. I'm
Yeah.
terrified of Mr. Blobby.
Yeah, he scared a lot of people. I remember a lot of people being terrified of Mr. Blobby.
Him with a double-ended dildo as well. Like that's
Yeah.
oh my god.
And
Like,
apparently, I didn't see this, but apparently there was someone in the audience who, for the entire set, held up a full-sized PS2.
I saw a picture of that. I
So,
saw a picture.
How fucking random is that?
You know, we had someone with an eggplant on a stick for us.
I fucking saw the eggplant at other sets as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't realize until like the end of the first song, everyone put their hands in the air and then like someone just shoved an eggplant into the air and I was like, the fuck am I looking at right now? It was so surreal. Like shout out to that guy. That was
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool. Like
Do
funny.
we call it eggplant or what's the other name for it?
Aubergine.
Again? Aubergine.
I think more people know what an eggplant is because of the meme, like with the
'Cause
emoji.
it means a dick.
Because it's whose dick is purple and like that? We call it in England. We
Us Brits, right?
us Brits, true patriotism.
It's an aubergine on a stick, okay?
But yeah, so Raised Bowers were entertaining. They played the New Blood stage a few years back, and apparently it was the biggest crowd the New Blood stage has ever had. So I think it
Wow.
makes sense that they've been bumped up to the
Yeah.
Sophie stage now. So
Nice.
I can see them being like a kind of an in-house band akin to your Evil Scarecrows and your other sort of comedy-ish
Party cannons.
bands.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about Party Cannon is their lyrics and their song titles are quite humorful, but their music is just straight up legit slam.
Like Def Clock. Well, not slam, but like they're kind of funny, but the music's actually
I've not
pretty
listened
good.
to Def Clock.
I actually quite like it. Brandon
Yeah.
Small's like a really good musician.
Yeah, I've not listened to that. Or what's his other project? Is it Galacticon? Is it called?
Maybe I don't know. He's got some stuff.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Def Clock, but I've heard that their music is actually pretty legit. So yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose that's a good analogy, because it is a bit similar to that. But I'll definitely be catching Party Cannon at Damnation
Yeah.
anyway, because they unfortunately pulled out, which was
I've
a shame.
never seen them nor heard them, but I hope they have actual cannons, like fun party cannons.
That would be cool.
Because I remember seeing Guar at Bloodstock, and they had a cannon that shot like fake bodily seminal fluids into
Yeah.
the crowd. And I was photographing that year, and they had to have a sign being like, "You must wear waterproof protective clothing and protect your camera, and we're not legally liable for any damaged goods." Because they
Goddamn.
spray you with like food dye and things like that. It's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
They're booked for next year as well.
Oh,
Yeah, they were
damn.
one of the announcements. There was an announcement that happened at some point, which I missed. But Guar are playing a UK exclusive tour next year,
That would be so weird.
which is going to be interesting because obviously poor Odorous
Odorous.
Urungus passed away, God, about 2013, I think.
I met him at Bloodstock, and he gave me like an exclusive interview about his like family history.
That's
Because
wild.
he was like super drunk, and then no one gave a fuck because I wrote for like a very small publication,
Yeah.
so no one read it. But he was amazing. He's such a cool person.
His interviews are fucking legendary.
Yeah.
Like, he is just such an amusing guy. I remember seeing him and the band doing a cover of Kansas's Carry On My Wayward Son. It was some YouTube channel that would they would get bands on to do covers, and he was just so funny. Like,
He's so funny.
it's just so amusing. It's worth a watch, that video. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and replicate the humor in what he said because I'll no doubt fuck it up.
No one could
but,
be as funny as him. He
No.
just had a wonderful way of putting things that was just automatically hilarious.
Yeah. And then we had the headliners on the Wednesday were the thrash revivalists Onslaught from Bristol.
Oh, they played yesterday at the Underworld with Damim and Sufferer.
At Memoriam as well, right?
And Memoriam and also Slime Lord. What are they called again? Slime Lord weren't there. Okay, not Slime Lord. Sorry.
Sorry, Slime Lord. But it was, they were great. I actually have a bit... See, the thing with thrashers, it's one of those genres that I wouldn't really listen to too much on record these days because I think it's very of its time and a lot of it can be a bit dated. Hence why we don't have too many major, like, sort of modern thrash bands. But I will say, I mean, like Power Trip were one of the only ones who I think kind of broke through the mold, but they had like fucking one foot in the hardcore scene as well as the thrash scene. So I think they were something special. Rest in peace, Riley Gale.
Yeah.
But no, also I thought it was fucking amazing live. It was such a good show and one of the best stage shows I'd seen in the Sophie tents. There was a good amount of fire and
Cool.
fucking just that was how the shit called.
Fire.
What did you call it?
Water?
Earth, wind, smoke, and nana. Yeah, kind of like smoke. You know, those gas.
Dry ice.
Yeah, smoke. Dry ice.
Dry
It wasn't dry ice, but it was.
ice, yeah.
Yeah, was it dry ice?
Is it
Dunno.
like what the mist on the floor?
Fuck knows. It was something cool. But it was either way. It was fucking impressive. I loved it.
Cool.
Whatever mystery element that was. But
Did I tell you about when I saw Hang the Bastard at Electroworks and the smoke machine broke? And it filled
I filled the whole venue.
with smoke.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, God, that's wild. But they were really good. They had their old vocalist Psych Healer come out to do a couple of tracks towards the end as well.
Nice.
Some of the other tracks because they released a new album in 2020, and they've got a bit of some newer members in the band. So it's a bit of a revitalized lineup, which is quite common for a lot of thrash bands. Same with Acid Rain, who played the main stage on Saturday, I believe. They also have like a few newer members to breathe fresh life into the band. But no, it was just a really great sort of traditional sort of 80s thrash, and it just really, maybe it was because it was the first sort of live show I'd seen in about a year and a half, but it was just really what I needed. Thrash is a very sort of familiar, nostalgic kind of genre for me, because I feel like most people, when they get into metal, they start with like your Metallica and your Slayers. That's a lot of people's introduction bands, and it's a shame because I feel like a lot of people don't go outside the big four. And I feel like there's so many other good bands. You look at the Teutonic Big Four, you look at Creator, Sodom, Destruction, and then even other bands in the US scene, Exodus and Testament. I prefer Testament to any of the other Big Four thrash bands personally.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Did you not find
I
Testament?
won tickets to see them live and left early.
Yeah.
They were terrible live.
Must have just been, well, when was this?
Really, like 2010?
Yeah, he might, but well, I don't mean to guilt trip you there, but I think he might have been recovering from chemo at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, Chuck
Didn't
Billy.
his, like, wife die as well?
Oh, shit,
Not
really?
sure. I don't know about that, but yeah.
Warren Dane, he's dead now, isn't he?
So that's Nevermore, War Ordained.
I always get mixed up.
Yeah. So yeah, War Ordained's dead. Yeah, Nevermore were great. I like Nevermore. But yeah, there's Chuck Billy from Testament as a singer.
Chuck Billy.
Oh,
He had
my
a rough
bad.
few years, so it
Okay.
might have been during that time.
Yeah, I
but,
take it back then. Maybe
Yeah.
they just had a bad night.
but I've seen him since, and I think they've always been great.
I'll give him another chance.
I actually think he's one of the best thrash vocalists, personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. He must have been having a bad night in that
Yeah.
case. Yeah.
But no, so it was a great way to end the Wednesday. And then Thursday, there's quite a few interesting acts. Sorry if you get bored of me talking, just...
No,
jump in.
I'm loving this.
So, opening up the Jaeger stage, we had a band called Tortured Demon, where the average age of the member was about 14, 15.
No way.
So it was like this group of kids, and it was kind of like our answer to, what do you call them, alien weaponry from New Zealand. But like musically, they sounded a bit like kind of like a Trivium, neo-thrash, kind of groovy. And I tell you what, they played a pretty damn good show. And a lot of
Fantastic.
people turned out for them, so it was really cool to see. And you could tell the kids were absolutely fucking stoked.
Oh my god.
And it was cool because he was putting on like his metal voice. He was like,
Oh, that's so
when he was like
cute.
when he was bantering with the crowd, so it was pretty cool.
That's sick.
Oh, that's amazing. Imagine
and-
going back to school and telling your mates, like, oh, we played Bloodstock at the weekend.
Yeah. Can you imagine being fucking 14 years old?
I'd
like,
shit
what's
my
that?
pants.
Year 9, year 10? I don't fucking know. And
I would
going
shit
back,
my pants.
you-
That's
you-
crazy.
yeah, mad confidence for people their age.
Also, your parents have got to be really cool.
Yeah.
My parents would so not let me do that.
Nah. I definitely wouldn't have the cojones to
Yeah.
get up on stage at that age.
Hell no.
So fair play to that. And do you know what? It was great to see a lot of people supporting them. I actually saw a few people wearing Tortured Demon shirts
Oh, cool.
throughout the festival.
I'll check
so,
those guys out.
yeah, they were really, really good. And I think, it's kind of like a good sign of things to come for the future of the scene. That there's bands still getting into it and playing like, well, I don't want to say proper metal, but it's because there's a big new metal revival going on at the moment, which
I haven't actually noticed.
Which I'm not really fully behind, because I kind of think that genre deserves to stay where it is.
I think that is definitely early 2000s, like pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, like me and Shem have waxed lyrical about Korn many a time, but like it's of its time,
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want another band to come out now and try and meld Korn. It's like the whole new metalcore thing that's happening at the moment, which I've talked about before, which is like they're melding the new metal sensibilities with the worst parts of metalcore. And it's just but hey, people dig it, so I'm not going to bash it.
Yeah, let them eat their cake.
We need more bands like Biohazard, man. They had it right.
Oh, do you know what?
So sick.
Biohazard was sick, and they actually played Bloodstock in 2014, and they had a stage invasion, and it was fucking sick. And there was a really cool meme that came out of it, because there was one dude on stage that was there during the stage invasion, but just on his phone like this, and it just looked like he was playing Candy Crush, while like everyone else was just losing their fucking shit. I'll see if I can find the picture afterwards, but it was hilarious. But yeah, so Torture Demon were great, and I think they're a band to kind of look out for, especially considering how young they are. So I think for the stage that they're at now, it's super, super impressive. And then I had a really good find on the New Blood stage, and I will admit, prior to this, I hadn't been on the New Blood stage for probably a few years, because the lineup is normally quite stacked for me, and I'll be fully honest, like when I'm not watching the band, I normally have to go back just to sit down at the campsite for 20 minutes just to recuperate the energy to watch the next act. So I give the New Blood stage a bit of a wide berth, just because I just can't be fucked, and that's just pure laziness from my perspective. But that's the cool thing about the Thursday was there was no main stage on Thursday, so it was just the lower stages. So and I saw the name Casket Feeder, and I thought
that's a cool name.
I was like, fuck. Probably death metal, so I'll go check this out.
Sounds legit.
And it was like a really cool kind of like death metal hardcore hybrid. There was some slams, there was some super sick riffs.
That sounds cool.
It was a packed tent,
yeah,
and there was nobody guarding the disabled ramp. So I decided to just walk up a little bit of the ramp. So I wasn't in the disabled area sitting down, but I was on the ramp so I could fully see onto the stage. So it was just a great view. So I was just proper jamming out, just listening to some pretty like gnarly fucking slams and riffs. It was really, really good actually. So I'm going to check them out when I get a chance, because that was probably one of my favorite sets of the festival. Like it was really mid-paced and groovy, and the vocals were really good. It was like a blend of like legit straight up hardcore shouts and like death metal like growling, similar to what not Iron Dissonance, Despised Icon do.
Okay, yeah.
Because they've got that perfect blend of like hardcore and death metal vocals, so it's a bit similar to that. It was really, really good.
That sounds amazing.
So that was a great set. And then there was another band called Urn, who are a London band.
Everyone is raving about Urn. They got Books for Damnation as well.
Yeah, so the crazy thing about them is I hadn't heard of them prior to going to Bloodstock. Like the name was somewhat familiar, but it was my friend that recommended them to me. He said, Floyd, you'd probably really dig this. So I didn't have a chance to listen to the album, but I was like, I'll definitely check them out when they perform live. And they're one of those bands, they're kind of like a Mastodon-esque in the way that you can't really pigeonhole them.
Nice.
Like you can't really peg them down to one genre. They've got a really cool, unique blend of different things going on. Like those bits of doom and like bits of sludge. There was a lot of sludge in the music, bits of hardcore, and it was all kind of wrapped up in a kind of a bit of a progressive ribbon. So it was like even the last track, which I believe was called A Desolate Heart, had this kind of like monstrous, like Opeth style riff at the end. A bit like the end of Deliverance.
Oh, nice.
It was just really fucking cool. And I was like, shit. So they were really good.
Okay, I'm definitely checking them out. Them and Casket Feeders so far, I'm like, I'm going to listen to these guys on the way home.
I think you'll definitely dig Urn. They were super, super sick. Cool. They got one album that was released recently through Candlelight.
Nice.
Called, I did make a note of this, Serpent and Spirit.
It's got the word serpent in it, so I'm down.
Yeah, no, I didn't even clock that. But it was a great set, and like vocals were super, super aggressive. He was throwing some cleans in there as well. A big crowd, and another thing I'll say, the sound on the stages was fucking immaculate for the most part.
Beautiful.
Like I've never heard the New Blood and Sophie stage, and even the Jaeger stage. You guys sounded fucking massive.
Really?
And the Jaeger stage, I thought, and I was like behind the amps as well, so it must have been even louder from the front.
Nice.
But it was, the sound was amazing. But yeah, Urn are definitely a band who I think are going to have a bit of an upwards trajectory.
Yeah.
And they are more of a Damnation band, so I think they're going to absolutely slay it in Damnation as well.
I feel like they'll be finding their way onto the road burn and things like that.
Oh,
by the sounds of
100%.
it. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think, no doubt Becky from Roadburn's probably paying attention to these festivals
I
and,
hope so, yeah.
and seeing what's going on. Because I think it's crazy, because there are a lot of publications, news sites and stuff have picked up on Bloodstock, because it pretty much is
Yeah.
the first big fucking festival of almost any music.
That's back. I will say, I want to shout out to King Witch. They were on the BBC website as well. And Laura from King Witch is like an absolute cool human being all round. And their music's great, like very doomy, very cool. And yeah, they were featured on the BBC. They played the first day as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And there's like a really cool picture of them on the BBC website. I was like, oh my God, it's King Witch.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool that it was getting, because I think it's great to see bands like that getting the publicity from a more mainstream
Yeah.
perspective. Even though, let's be honest, we know BBC have no plans of covering the shit in the future.
Probably
but it was,
not.
But it was cool to see it.
Yeah, maybe we'll make some new metalheads from seeing that, well, you know, the article and the crowds and being interested in listening to some of the bands.
Yeah, who knows? It's, because I mean, that's how I used to find out about bands and shit. I would hear about them through the mainstream. And then I remember watching Top of the Pups 2 back in the days. And it was Iron Maiden playing Run to the Hills. I know none of us here are particular
It's a good
Iron
song,
Maiden
though. It's
fans.
catchy.
But yeah, it was just
Yeah.
it was a bit like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? Like, this sounds cool. And yeah, so it just shows that, you know, just like a gateway into the heavy scene can come from anywhere, really.
I love that on the Young Ones, they used to get like proper bands on there. They had like Motorhead on one episode of the Young Ones. And
Did they?
It's so good.
Fucking,
They
I
play
never
Ace of
watched the Young
Spades.
Ones.
I love the Young Ones. It's one of my favorite like TV shows for sure. Yeah.
See, I really like Bottom, but
Bottom is funny, but Young Ones is better in my
yeah,
opinion.
I should probably watch it at some point. But it's I had no idea Motorhead won it. That was cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, Carcass being on Red Dwarf.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
The Ohm song. What they called again? The egg. What, something in the eggheads? What they called?
Some of the Smegheads,
Smegheads.
right? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
That was cool. And I remember watching an interview with Jeff and Bill, and they were saying that they bumped into Craig Charles later on and said, "Oh yeah, we were the band that were in that episode." He didn't believe them before; they were just chatting shit. Yeah,
That's a really good episode as well.
yeah. And actually, I got something to tell you about Craig Charles afterwards, but I'll tell you afterwards.
I can't wait to hear this.
Craig Charles gossip.
Sorry, Serpent Temple. You can't. This is for our eyes only. Yeah.
But who else did we have? Oh God. Okay, now there was this replacement act called Hacktivist pulled out.
Okay.
I think it was COVID related, I'm not sure. And they were replaced by this kind of act called the Punk Rock Factory
Okay.
that played pop punk covers of like TV themes and Disney songs.
Was it good?
And I fucking hated it,
Okay.
but I will say that people were losing their shit to it. And people were having a great fucking time. I'm not a Disney fan though.
Okay.
And they're playing like covers of the Greatest Showman song. You know, this is the greatest show.
I actually don't know what that is.
Okay, it's the Hugh Jackman like film musical thing he was in.
Wow. I thought it was just Les Miserables that he was in. He did like a whole thing of musicals. Damn.
Yeah, it was. I've not seen it, so I'm not going to pretend to know really too much what it's about. Something to do with circuses and shit.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
But anyway, so they were doing covers of like really popular like pop songs and TV themes, and they've done Thundercats and Power Rangers and the Pokemon theme.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
and
voice of
do
a
you know what?
generation.
As Sham's face. As a Thursday night act, because it still was technically the party night, so I think it got
That's
everyone in
fine.
the spirit, and
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
know, and like I was just a bit too tired. I was just like, fuck this, so I just went back to camp and pretended I never went to see it. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, it was probably the most packed I'd seen the Sophie tent all weekend.
No way.
Yeah, people were well up for it.
Well,
so
if people want to see it, then I guess
Exactly.
they're going to get it. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, people had a whale of a time. So you know, so they were on. And then Lawnmower Death, I caught a little bit of them, but unfortunately, I was too tired. And
Aw.
I've seen Lawnmower Death a few times, and they've also got another band that've got great comedy shtick, but I just wasn't feeling it. I was just a bit tired and hungry. So because the funny thing was with this year, with the extra day, I think it was already setting in
Yeah.
on Thursday night. I was like, fuck, I'm already getting tired.
You've not gone for like 2 years and suddenly you've got an extra day.
Yeah, so it was just a bit too much for me. But I heard through a few people who'd watched them that they were their typical sardonic and hilarious selves. So, and then also on Thursday, there was a wrestling-themed party night.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Which was kind of cool. So me and a few of our friends who are into wrestling went there. They only played one wrestling song, technically. It was the New Age Outlaws theme. You know, the You Better Know. No, but to any non-wrestling fans, I think I'm losing my mind.
My kind of wrestling is like the different kind of wrestling, but one day I will get into that also again.
Yeah, but it was, they played one song, and the rest of it was just classic, kind of crowd-pleasing metal tracks. They played a few Gojira tracks, and played Limp Bizkit Break Stuff, which is always a fun song to hear live. But we had a great time on the Thursday night. That was fun. And then we had the Friday, which had a few good bands. I'm going to try not to go into too much detail because I'll be just talking forever. So you had Fetal Juice open up the Saturday stage.
It's a good way to start.
They're kind of like an Aborted-esque kind of death grind band. So that was a good energetic way to start the first band of the main stage. So that was cool.
Comparison.
And there was people throwing mad shapes in the pit.
Nice.
So there was people at one point, the singer, they've got a new singer from the last time I saw them. I think they've got a slightly different lineup now. And he was saying he wants to see people's legs in the air. So a lot of people got on their back and were cycling in the air with their legs in the pit.
Ooh.
So a lot of people were there having fun and having a good old time in the pit. So it was always good to see those sort of shenanigans and hijinks. It's warm in here, isn't it?
I'm not
Just
warm.
think it's like
I'm
sweating.
fine. Oh, I think my vaccine's in full effect. I'm in like cold 5G territory right now.
Nice.
Nice.
So they were good, enjoyed them. Then Svalbard played, so watched them. They were great.
Awesome.
And I think Serena Cherry was absolutely stoked to have such a big crowd.
Amazing.
They'd have a really good turnout.
Well
She
deserved.
looked, a great band. And I love the solo project as well, which we reviewed.
Noctule. Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. And I think it kind of reminded me a bit of, I know they've got a storied past, but a bit like Agalock when they played in 2015, because they've kind of got that similar, really kind of ethereal guitar work. But it was great to hear that ringing out on the main stage. And that's one of the things I like about Svalbard as an act. I like their combination of the whole post-hardcore thing with the really kind of melancholic and kind of really just beautiful guitar leads. And it was just, and they performed amazingly. I thought it was a great set and a great kind of like a great counterbalance to Fetal Juice, who were a bit more kind of like sillier and brutal. So
Nice.
there was a good slot for them on the bill. And then the next band I watched were Acid Rain, who were the only band at the festival I was barrier for, because
No
they played
way.
directly after Svalbard, and
You were-
there's nothing else going on. I'd already had something to eat, so I said, fuck it, I'll be barrier for Acid Rain.
Nice.
Another kind of comedy-tinged kind of thrash band.
Yeah.
Kind of like our answer to Municipal Waste in a way. And I saw them, they headlined the Sophie tent in 2015, I believe, at Bloodstock. And it was just pandemonium. Like the singer, his stage name is H. I don't know his real name, but I believe he's a stand-up comedian as well.
No way. Okay.
So he's got great stage banter. And one of the amps unfortunately broke for one of their guitarists. And it was the perfect band for it to happen to, because he was just bantering with the crowd.
Nice.
And he got everybody to call the amp a cunt on stage and stuff. So it was just, and they played some
Poor
great, and yeah. But it was a great set. You know, if you like that sort of silly party thrash, it's and they've got some actually really good like traditional thrashy riffs. They've got a track that I really like called "Motherly Love," which is about Norman Bates.
Okay.
And the end of the track, this really moshy thrash riff with everybody shouting Norman at the end. And it's it was a really good set. Enjoyed that. Then Venom Prison played, who were fantastic.
Yeah.
They had a lot of pyro and fire, so that was quite cool and fitted their kind of performance quite well. They're a band who I will admit I've seen them live a few times. Last time I saw them at Bloodstock, it was a bit too early in the morning, so I just wasn't feeling it. But they destroyed the Eyesore stage at Damnation a few years prior to that. No, it wouldn't have been the Eyesore stage. It was the Terrorizer stage, the one down from the main stage. And I just love their combination of, similar to Casket Feeder, they do a really good blend of hardcore and death metal. Like you've got like the really groovy fucking like throw down kind of riffs, and then the proper death metal parts. And she has great stage presence as well.
Amazing.
So that was a great set. I watched Skindred, who were pretty good.
I love Skindred live.
They're
I
so
love
good
them
live, you know.
Yeah, I always make a point to see them at a festival. I never really listen to them on tape, but fuck me, they are the perfect festival band.
My first experience to Skindred was through the game Need for Speed Underground 2.
No way, I didn't know they were on
Yeah.
it.
They got the track Nobody on it.
Oh,
and
it's such a
I
good
remember
track.
listening to it. I was like, this is like fucking some reggae corn shit. Like, what the fuck is this?
It's legit. Like, I actually have a thing where if I listen to reggae, I become inexplicably furious. But I don't have that with Skindred. They're just so... I saw them at Hammerfest, and I remember being with a bunch of, like, really elitist metalheads who were all, like, standing there with their arms crossed.
Yeah.
And they were like... I was like, I really want to see them live. And they were all just like, I don't care. And they were just standing there. And then Benji comes on, he's like, do you guys like metal? Do you guys like black metal? And he just does this, like, insane scream, like the best vocal scream of the entire weekend. This is like a festival of Dark Funeral and Akakoka. Benji's voice is fucking insane. He just does this scream, and then immediately afterwards they start fucking playing dubstep.
Yeah.
And he's just like dubstep, and the whole crowd are like, fuck you. It was like such a hostile crowd. But then 10 minutes later, the whole crowd's fucking dancing, including the guys with their arms crossed. God. They're just like, I can't help it. I've got a nod, but they would look so angry. They're just so angry to be like dancing and moving, but you can't not do it. They're just so good live.
Ah, so cool. So that was at Hammerfest.
Yeah, Hammerfest. Many
so
a year
cool.
ago.
He's great at like striking that balance between kind of like riling up the crowd and also hyping them up at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good set, actually. They done like a dub version of Slipknot song. Which song was it? Might have been Duality. I think.
Amazing.
I'm not the biggest Slipknot fan, but I'm pretty sure it was Duality.
Yeah.
So he done like a tribute to Joey Jordison.
Oh.
And that was cool. And there was people like proper fucking throwing down.
Damn.
He had another project prior to Skindred called Dub War that I've never listened to.
I've heard of Dub War, but I've not listened to them.
But it's meant to be really fucking good. So I've been meaning to check that out for years. But you're absolutely right and spot on. Like his stage presence and his vocal skills, and they're so good it's hard not to like them live.
Yeah.
And I'm the same as you. They're not a band I really check out on records, but I was thinking I'm definitely going to go watch them live.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a great kind of pick me up energy wise for everybody.
I've tried to get into their discography, but to be honest, I find the production kind of lets it down. But it could also just be that they just sound so good live as well.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm a bit like that with Orange Goblin. If I'm being honest, I feel like they're a really good live band, and sometimes on record, I'm just not really in the mood for it.
I think when a band is really good live, it's hard to sound also good on tape. You just have to have really good production. It's got to be more forward. Whereas I feel like if it's all very smoothed out and everything's like kind of held back and restrained, and it can be heavy still, but I just find it hard to get the same energy that you do live. So I think it's a high bar to set for yourself sometimes.
It's interesting though when you think about it, because I think that is the sign of a truly complete band, a band you could enjoy both live and on record.
Definitely.
It always seems to fall on either side of the fence. You either watch a band live and think, oh, they were a bit shit, but you really like them on record.
Yeah.
You watch them like, oh, they were amazing, and then you're underwhelmed on record. So a band that can find the balance between the two, I think, is a band that truly has their shit together.
Opeth sound exactly the same live as they do on record.
Yeah, fucking like it's immaculate.
Yeah, it's perfect. Whereas I think that's good, and then there are some bands that they sound good in different ways. Like sometimes they change it up somehow, maybe, or they're going to do some like improvisation, or like Sleep, for example. They're a good example because they're like so obsessed with tone. So live, you're going to get like an insanely loud and like tone heavy, like distorted experience, and the bass is going to be like fucking punching you in the face. But on record, it's also like it's really heavy, it's really sumptuous and rich to listen to, and the mix, like where everything is in the mix, is like so considered.
Yeah.
So it's also like it's not the same as they are live, but it's also good. I don't know. You get two different worlds. I guess.
I think Sciences is such a well-produced album.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You're totally on the ball with Sleep there, because I mean, them a Roadburn was just such a ritualistic kind of experience, and maybe it was because literally everyone was fucking blazing up. I was like, I'm really into this. So am I really into this, or am I just fucking high? But no, they were amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I digress. Talk about Skindred.
Oh, they were so good, though, man. I really like Skindred, and just fucking. I don't know how anybody could have watched that and not had fun.
Yeah.
And like even the whole fucking Newport helicopter thing, like it's so silly.
Fun. It's silly,
but like it's such a cool visual to see loads of people.
Exactly.
It's just like it's cool. It's simple, and everyone can have fun, and loads of kids love it. I think the security guard let a few of the kids be in front of the barrier to watch the band. So there's a few kids near the front that were doing the Newport helicopter.
Cute.
which was kind of cool. And it's always cool to see kids that are genuinely into it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think kids are a bit too young at festivals.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
I've
this
seen
kid's
some kids
not
around some shit.
Yeah, and I'm thinking this kid is not getting anything out of this fucking festival,
Yeah.
really. But for the most part, a lot of them seem really into it, which is quite wholesome. And then, went from Skindred to watching Conan.
What a contrast.
Yeah.
Damn.
And Conan were fucking amazing.
I bet,
Like, they're so insanely heavy live. And the production on the vocals is amazing live as well, because there's that thing where the vocals kind of sound like someone wailing in the distance.
Yeah.
On records, they're very like reverb heavy, and they can replicate that so fucking well live. And it was just, they've got such good riffs. And I feel like as a band, there's some bands of that genre or that ilk don't know when to switch up the tempo or pace or change the riff. But I think Conan straddled the line perfectly between knowing when to pick it up, slow it down, and it's just, it was such a good set. Like, they played like Faux Hammer, which is one of my favorite tracks, and it was just such a good live band. Like, I always have a good time watching Conan, and I think they're playing Damnation as well.
They
I think
probably are.
I might have made that up. A lot of bands that ended up playing Bloodstock are playing Damnation as well.
I feel like they could well be. Yeah.
But
They probably will.
Could be chatting shit there. But yeah, fucking so good live. So good. So they were great. And I went straight from Conan straight back to the main stage for Devon Townsend.
Oh, fantastic.
Which was, and he, if you talk about like Benji from Skindred being a showman, like Devon Townsend is every bit a showman as well. Like, he is so confident in his craft and knows what he's doing. And he even said on stage that the people, his backing band, he had met them 3 days prior.
Yeah.
And they had rehearsed and learned all the material in a very short amount of time.
Incredible.
Which is crazy, because it was a by request set list.
Oh my god.
So you had tracks from Strapping Young Lad, tracks from the Devon Townsend project, some of his solo stuff.
Wow.
So that was a lot of shit they would have had to have learned.
Yeah, damn. And Devon is it's not simple music.
No, not at all. And it was a really, really good set list. I'm not overly familiar with his solo stuff, because I feel like he's one of those guys who is so prolific that at times I find it a bit off-putting.
I know exactly.
Because it's just I'm never going to be able to get through all this material. But I am a huge, huge Strapping Young Lad fan, and have been for years. The band, not the. I think I've made that joke before. But and they played a few tracks. They played Love, Aftermath, and Detox. So one track from City, one track from the Self-Titled, another track from Alien. And it was great to hear those tracks. I never thought I'd hear them live.
Aww.
And so that was really good, because I never got the chance to see them live. And they played Kingdom, which is one of his most popular solo tracks. And they played Deadhead as well, which is a good kind of emotional, kind of more of a melancholic kind of brooding track. And his vocals are insane. Like, his range is mad.
Yeah.
And live, he sounded absolutely fantastic. And there was this hilarious moment during one of the tracks, which was a bit more kind of like a choral sort of track. He brought this elephant and giraffe on stage.
I saw pictures of that. That's amazing.
But they were only meant to be on there for the one song, and the elephant ended up staying for the encore because the crowd started cheering for the elephant. And the elephant was dancing along, so that was pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was a great headliner. And then straight back from Devon Townsend, I ran to the Sophie tent to catch Napalm Death.
No way.
So it was a busy fucking Friday. Napalm Death were their usual fucking vitriolic best. I mean, there's a reason why, in my opinion, they're one of the most seminal kind of extreme metal bands, along with Carcass. And I think it's because they're so influential, and their discography, in a similar vein to Carcass, spans so many different kind of subgenres, and which they helped pioneer. And they even played a track off of my favourite Napalm album, Enemy of the Music Business. They played the opening track, Taste the Poison,
nice.
Which was cool, because that is my favourite Napalm album and doesn't really get much love from any of their live set lists. So, and then they played all their other classic tracks as well, finished it off with Nazi Punk's Fuck Off.
Nice.
And yeah, it was just great. It was great to hear Barney's dulcet sort of Birmingham tones. And it was a great way. I mean, I was fucking lagging at this point, though, I must say.
Bet.
Like,
That's
my
already 3
sciatica
days.
was, and Friday felt like the Sunday. So the notion of having 2 days after this was just dragging on me at that point. So I was thinking, so after Napalm, I just went and back, just chilled at the campsite. So there's no fucking way I've got any energy to go to any of the after hours entertainment.
Man. I do want to shout out Halvexia and King Goat, who I think played the Friday as well. Both incredible bands. Gutted I didn't get to. I was there from the Saturday, so it was a bit of a terrible festival goer. Didn't see all the bands I wanted to see, but those 2 bands are fantastic. So I'm sure I saw the pictures of the set. I think they did really, really great job, and I heard a lot of people saying good things about them.
I think that's the good thing about this year. I feel like a lot of people, because of being starved of live music for so long, were there to check out as many bands as possible. I thought I was going to do the same, but I kind of fell back into my old habits of, I can't be bothered, I'll catch them at some other point. But it's that's what happens when you've been going to gigs for so long, I think.
You just know you're going to find
jaded.
them again, Yeah, I kind of I just really wanted to enjoy the festival. It was just seeing people again. That was my main, I'm gutted I missed Memoriam.
Yeah.
That's the main band I'm gutted I missed. I'm really happy I saw Gravelines. Fantastic band. We'll get to them on the Sunday.
They were great. Yeah, so Saturday was a bit less busy for me. So the main stage opened up for a band called Borstal, who are
I've heard a lot of hype about them.
So they're a super group. They've got Nick Barker on drums, so Nick Barker of Doom Gear and Cradle Filth, and Lock Up as well, another super group, which features Shane Embry from Napalm. They've got Pelbu, the vocalist from Knuckle Dust, and another band called Bun Dem Out, who my friend John plays guitars in.
Shout out!
So shout out to Bun Dem Out. They were great. It was really weird to see kind of like a beat down punky hardcore opening up the main stage, and I think it opened up a few people's eyes there as well to that sort of style of music, because it's not typically what gets booked for the festival. Obviously, you've got places like Outbreak Festival in Manchester, which is like your hardcore festival, and it is a separate scene from the metal scene, which I think people forget sometimes. There's a bit of bleed, but like it is a different kind of crowd that attends a hardcore show than a metal show, normally seen through the different methods of dancing in the pit. Hardcore dancing is
it's fascinating. I do want to go to a hardcore show.
I'm not getting anywhere near the fucking pit, but I would love to go to a hardcore show.
Hell no, I fancy not having a broken nose. It's a very breakable nose.
Well, I might go to Outbreak Fest. I'm probably going to go to Outbreak Festival
in
which is June next year.
Okay.
It's got like Code Orange are going to be there, Vane, so a lot of these newer kind of like hybrid hardcore bands that are coming up.
They're playing Hellfest, so...
Oh yeah, they are.
We've got to make sure it's not clashing.
Oh yeah, I need to check. Oh shit. I might not be good at Outbreak then.
Sorry.
But it was no, Borstal were great. It was a really kind of fun, energetic set, and the band I saw after that were Conjurer, who were
nice.
It was just a really doomy, gloomy fucking
Metal to the Masses winner as well.
Oh, were they?
Oh yeah, they're a Metal to the Masses band.
Oh shit!
That's why they get Bloodstock Love. I think part of the reason they're like a family band.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, maybe I'm talking shit, but I'm pretty sure they're a Metal to the Masses band.
Well, they're great, and they're making some great waves on the scene. Like their brand of kind of like death-tinged sludge is really kind of winning a lot of people over, and it was a really fucking intense, gloomy set.
Nice.
And it started raining during their set as well, and I was like, yeah,
nice.
this is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And they had a great set list. They played Scorn, Wretch, Choke, Dwell, so a lot of tracks off of their album. Their first album, and it was just really, really fucking good. They're another band who I think are probably more suited for Damnation.
Yeah,
but it's great to see them getting some main stage love, because they have played the Sophie stage at Bloodstock before, and I think it's always good to know that style of music can translate well to the main stage.
Yeah,
so I think sometimes that sort of shit kind of falls a bit flat on its face sometimes. And I'll use Dark Funeral as an example. They played Bloodstock in 2013, and it was really sunny, and like all the corpse paint was running off their face, and it was just, and like black metal in 30 degrees heat just never works.
No.
I mean, funny enough, 1349 were all right. I saw them in 2015 on the main stage, and they were actually quite good, even in those extreme temperatures. But yeah, it was great to see them. And then I watched you guys on the side, which was a great set.
Shout out to Lowen.
And there was a good turnout. Sounded really good. So I think you guys done an amazing set.
Thank you. I can't really review my own set. I was there.
And then it was just Creator. So I took a bit of a break and prepared myself for Creator. It was probably my highlight of the festival. Because
I saw we were in the artist area, and then we just saw this huge, like, tentacular release from the main stage, just like it was like huge
like the streamers.
TV. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was cool. Yeah. They'd done something
so cool.
similar last time. They like had the red confetti coming out the cannons. But
wow, yeah.
I just love shit like that. I'm such a
so
mark
cool.
for just. I was like, ooh,
it's raining from
paper.
The sky.
But it's but no, it was a really, really good set. It was quite similar to the last set I saw them when they played, but it was just fucking really hit the spot. Like I was saying before, I'm more of a fan of Teutonic kind of like German thrash. So, and they're one of my favorite thrash bands. And unlike a lot of other thrash bands, they haven't been stuck in their ways and just stuck to that 80s sound. They have modernized a bit. And the later albums have got elements of kind of like just more progressive elements, and it's just more modern song structures. Like it's not just the classic sort of thrash beats all the time. So it was a really great set. So they played a good mixture of old and new tracks, and we were losing our shit for them. We started our own little circle pit as a joke, and then other people started joining in seriously.
Nice.
And then it turned into an actual pit.
Oh.
So we were like, oh fuck, with those dickheads at the back starting pits where they don't deserve to, where they shouldn't be. But it was I was losing my mind to creators. So that was probably one of my favorite main stage headliners I'd seen at the festival. And then we had Sunday. So we had Grave Lines was the first band I watched. So you watched Grave Lines as well?
Oh my god, I love Grave Lines so much. Like the dulcet? Is it dulcet?
Dulcet, I think, isn't it?
Dulcet. Because it comes from the Italian word dolce, which means sweet, right?
That's a good point.
Tone. So in my mind it's like, say dulcet. But then it doesn't make sense because it's not a word. Which is so, why does it have to be? Anyway, Jake Harding has a beautiful voice. It's like imagine if depressed bees made honey.
Oh,
That's how his voice sounds. It's like very melancholic and then they had Caroline from Dystopian Future Movies come out to sing some of the songs from the split they did, and then Bill, who is also in Dystopian Future Movies with Caroline, but they're also both in Church of the Cosmic Skull, because I can talk. They were also there. He was their roadie, so you could see him on the side of the stage like filming, and it was really sweet. They're really lovely people.
Yeah, it was a great set. I think I saw Sam Loins at one point.
Sam Loins was there, standing side stage.
Yeah,
he's always everywhere. Like wherever I go, I see Sam Loins. I'm like, of course Sam Loins is here. He was the first person we knew that we saw at the festival. We were driving in, and then he was just standing backstage. We're like, of course Sam Loins is here.
Just wheeling and dealing.
He's always there. Yeah, like just looking cool, being Sam Loins. Shout out to Sam Loins.
Yeah, it was a great set though, and it was they sounded good in the Sophie tent. I think it was the perfect tent for them, and they're quite a big turnout, I must say.
Yeah, huge turnout, especially that time of day as well. It was a big full tent. Yeah.
And I thought the guitar tone was just crystal fucking clear. It came through so well.
Ollie he is so into his like guitar tone, old amps, cool pedals and stuff. I really love seeing what he's playing. Yeah,
and the bass as well sounded amazing.
Yeah,
just everything sounded great.
And they got the new drummer as well. I think he's called Sam. I'm really sorry if I got that wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Sam. He's so nice. Yeah, they're all just such lovely human beings, and it's just great when they also make really good music. So double, triple bonus.
Yeah, so hopefully that's some good exposure for them, because I think there's definitely a place for that sort of bleak, really fucking, but also quite groovy and
it's like it's like very accessible, and it's also like very dark and heavy at the same time.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Yeah.
And then I watched Green Lung, who are really good. They're
making waves.
Real big up and coming band. A massive crowd for them.
Fantastic.
Actually couldn't really get into the tent.
Damn.
So I kind of stood a bit side stage because I was eating another rotisserie chicken at the time.
I didn't realize you had two.
One of the 20. But it was, it was great just to eat chicken and watch Green Lung.
I love that.
But really good. Like people were fucking headbanging like mad to them. So, like the whole middle section seemed to be really fucking into it. I was into it as well. It was really, really good. They sounded amazing. And I'll definitely be catching them at Damnation as well. They're booked to play, and it was a great show for them. I think because I think it showed them that they are definitely on an upward trajectory.
Well deserved as well. They have fantastic merch too. They've got like a really cool anti-fascist patch, but it's like green. It's like a doom metal.
That's cool.
It's like a fist smashing a black sun.
Yeah,
it's really cool. And then like just in general, they have fantastic graphic design. They work with this really cool artist. It's like very folk horror kind of style.
Yeah, it's cool. They've got that classic kind of Black Sabbath font logo as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
That was such a good set. They were such a good band.
Yeah, fantastic. 10 out of 10 Green Lung.
That was great. And then you had Judas Priest headlining.
Of course.
Who were fantastic. The set list was impeccable.
They played, 2 songs they've never, ever played, ever?
So I've got a list. So they played a lot of tracks from Painkiller. Nice. So you had One Shot of Glory, which is the closing track on Painkiller, which was the first time they played, which was the first time they'd ever played it. That was a live debut for that track. They played Exciter, which is off the Stained Class album. That was just spat on the cloth. That was the first time they played that since 2005. Played Hell Patrol, which is the second track on Painkiller. First time since 2009. played the title track from Rock'n'Roller, which was the first time we played that since 1976.
Oh, bloody hell.
So that was a real deep choice cut there.
Wow.
A Touch of Evil on Painkiller. Once again, I believe that was a debut. That's the first time they played that. Dissident Aggressor, first time since 2009. Blood Red Skies from the Ram It Down album. That was, first time since 2012. And then Invader as well. That was the first time that track had been played live, also off the Stained Class album, I believe.
Wow.
So it was a very, very deep cut, but also crowd-pleasing set list.
Incredible.
You had Painkiller on there, Victim of Changes,
I love
obviously
Painkiller.
Living After Midnight, Breaking the Law, Metal Gods, all the classics. But it was the only thing I will say, the sound wasn't too good.
Oh, no.
So from where I was standing, it might have been better elsewhere.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to fill a whole arena with good sound, to be fair. Yeah.
But I will say, considering their kind of elder status in the community and in the scene, they put on such a good show. And Rob Halford still sounds fucking amazing.
Can I just say, singing like that for 2 hours at his age, that's fucking impressive.
Yeah, and he maintained it as well. Like,
Wow.
I don't think the quality of his voice dipped at all during the entire 2-hour set.
Incredible, an incredible vocalist. And doing all that whilst moving around on stage, I can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
He is so good. I mean, there's a reason he's considered the fucking godfather, isn't he? I mean, he really is just one of the best vocalists, and just great range, great presence, just great power. It's just so good, and technically such a good singer as well.
Yeah.
He even done like a death metal growl at one point. I can't remember what track it was during. Might have been Painkiller. I can't remember, but it was just like, it was just fucking the man was on fire.
I wonder how much it costs to have him do vocal lessons.
Oh God, probably a lot.
Yeah, probably a fair amount.
And you had Richie Faulkner and Andy Sneap playing guitars, but they brought out, as they did last time in 2018, they brought out Glenn Tipton to play a few songs.
Wow.
So it was great to see Glenn Tipton again. Obviously, he's unfortunately suffering from Parkinson's, but he played the last few tracks of the set. So that was always cool to see a nice heartwarming moment. But it was a great set, and it was a great end to the festival. Shame that the sound wasn't too good from where I was standing, but as always, after a few songs, you kind of just forget about it and just get into
enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was fucking exhausted as well at that point. I mean, this was Sunday night after a 5-day stint. So,
I bet, yeah.
So I was
5 days.
flagging massively.
Wow.
And I definitely lost my voice trying to sing along to Painkiller, which is tradition. Never hear that track live.
One of my favourite covers ever is Death's cover of Painkiller.
Oh, so good, isn't it?
Such a good cover.
Such a good cover.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's fantastic. I mean, it's so surreal to be talking about a 5-day festival after not having gone to a gig since 2020, like early 2020. Have I gone to a gig before then?
Yeah, my last was the real Batushka. In February 2020. So Christoph was touring his Batushka at that time at the Dome.
Yeah.
That was the last gig I went to prior to this.
The last gig I went to was the one that we played at the Dev with Haunted in I think February 2020. So that was it. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it was a triumphant return to live music, and it was just great to see that and I think this is something we all knew anyway within the scene, that when you're in it, you're kind of in it for life or a long period of time, and whenever the first opportunity for things to come back was going to be made safe, you knew people would come back in their droves.
100%,
There was no way that people weren't going to absolutely be behind the scene and all the bands playing.
I think as well we'll always be extra grateful for what we've got in the scene too, because I think after not having it for a year, I think it's really reinforced how wonderful it is and how lucky we are to have such a vibrant scene, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Like the UK scene is so fucking strong because obviously there was maybe a smattering of European bands there. So I think you had Devon from Canada who done the full quarantining process just to make sure.
Yeah.
So fucking massive fucking
props
respect
to Devon,
and props to him for making sure that he would still do the show. And obviously Crate had done the same. They came in quarantined for a few days. But yeah, it just shows how strong the UK scene is, and we've seen it again in the revised Damnation lineup.
Yeah,
just shows that
fantastic.
we've got. I mean, we did fucking kind of create the genre, so it's only fitting that we've got such a good fucking scene.
It's true, yeah. We're so lucky. Even though we're a pretty small island, we've got a shit ton of miserable people making good music. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Thanks for Britain for being a really shit place to live at times, therefore inspiring a lot of fucking angry music.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and they announced 20 bands for next year as well, didn't they?
Yes, I'll try and we'll try and get the list up.
Bring that shit up.
So feel free to edit this down if this takes too long. Yes.
Completely forgot to actually load it up. Oh. I'm pretty sure someone on Spotted Bloodstock mentioned that sound. Oh my god, the website's my phone.
Well, there's always like kind of a meme of Bloodstock, and this year it was that I don't know where it fucking comes from, but it's that give me a huh.
I've never heard that before.
No,
I don't know that.
it's a hi. I don't know. Just making fucking orgasm noises now.
I didn't connect those two dots.
Yeah, I have no idea where it's fucking from, but the singer of Fetal Juice said it, and then I think that kind of had a bit of a. But I heard it throughout the entire fucking week, so I've got no idea where it's from. So someone can educate me there. I've got no fucking clue. Yeah, so I've got it up. So you've got Lamb of God are the headliners.
Log.
Log of God. They're headlining the Sunday, I believe. So that'd be their first time back since 2013.
Ooh,
obviously,
long time.
Merciful Fate have been added back onto the lineup, which is a real bucket list band. I think for a lot of people who are too young to catch them first time around.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see King Diamond in action again. Dimmu Borgir are back on the lineup.
That'll be fun.
That's their only UK show.
Oh, they've got Bloodywood.
Yeah. So you got Testament. So a lot of thrash. You got Testament and Exodus and Sacred Reich. So fair amount of thrash. Bury Tomorrow, who I think are a metalcore band. I've never actually listened to them. Mm-hmm. And you've also got the two of the more polarizing people in the metal scene. You've got Violence, which is Rob Flynn's other project.
God damn
and
it.
Philip Anselmo and Philip
Oh my god, they're
Anselmo
on the same day.
and the Illegals. Not sure if it's the same day, but
No, I've got them both on Sunday.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to have a little fight?
Maybe they had a bit of beef, didn't they?
Yeah, they
At one point,
did. Yeah, because Flynn called out Phil, and Phil was like, meh.
Got Gwar, which we mentioned before. The Black Dahlia Murder, who are always good live. Yeah, Bloody Wood will be headlining one of the Sophie nights, I think.
Okay.
A band called Heathen, who I'm not familiar with.
I don't know
who will be playing at some point during the Sophie. And then the weird one for me, and apologise to anybody who camped with me, because I fucking ranted about this for hours. Static X are closing the festival. And I'm just like, fucking...
Wait, they're on the main stage? They're
on the Sophie stage.
They're on
Sorry,
the Judas,
to clarify, they'll be
okay.
closing the festival on the Sophie stage, so they'll be playing after the last headliner.
Huh.
But turns out that they do have a shit ton of Spotify followers, so
Fair enough.
they have a big following. So maybe
People really like them, I guess.
I rated Static X as like a third grade new metal band with like Edema and Spineshank. I had no idea they were that big, but apparently they are. And the singer's dead as well. Like they've got the singer from Dope filling in for Wayne Static, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago.
He did. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that about Wayne
Yeah.
Static.
So, but yeah, a bit of a strange booking for me. But hey ho, maybe a lot of people are into Static X they didn't know about.
Yeah.
So,
Static
and Butcher
Flex.
Babies. I'm not even going to comment on that.
I don't know anything about them. Are they a band or?
Their band, listen to their music. Not a fan. That's all I'll say.
Cool.
Then Life of Agony would be playing as well.
Cool.
Legendary band, and then a Night Flight Orchestra, who I think they're like an a cappella sort of,
Acapella, but orchestra?
like an apocalyptica
Acapella
style
is
kind of
like
thing.
spoken.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
No, they're a cappella, so I'm not sure if they perform any instruments.
Oh right. Oh, so like a
I think-
barbershop quartet?
Kind of, and they make the sounds of the instruments themselves through.
What the
I think
fuck?
I could be getting mixed up with another band.
It's not that fucking horrible band. What they fucking called? Oh, I hate them so much. Oh god, what they fucking called?
But,
I hate them.
I mean, it's a similar gimmick to Apocalyptica in the sense that they do metal songs, but just with fucking classical instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's but that's what I think. I think that's what a Night Flight Orchestra are. I think they're an a cappella band that they fucking perform all the.
So like beatboxing orchestrally, but also doing orchestral beatbox metal covers.
Maybe I could be chatting shit.
That sounds insane. Can you imagine pitching that to like a potential bandmate?
It might not be. I'm probably getting them confused with another band.
I kind of hope they are.
There is a band that does that. I can't remember what they're called.
I know
thought
the
it might
band
be
you
this band.
mean. I fucking hate that band so much as well. I think they're German and they're like fucking what they fuck.
So it's not this band then. It's a different band.
I mean, they could just also be the both. They're both like that. Oh my god, I don't want to. I don't even want to remember who the band is. I'm just not going to remember. They just have a fucking awful. Ugh.
That's a solid lineup for 2022. I'm hoping to see Behemoth or Behemoth added back onto the lineup because they were slated to be a headliner, as were Cattle Decapitation. They were due to play.
I'd love to see Cattle Decap on. I don't really care about Behemoth. Like, I'm not a huge Nergal fan, but yeah, Cattle Decap would be nice.
Yeah, it's I will admit the last time I saw Behemoth, they did put on a really good stage show. But yeah, I'm with you on the whole Nurgle thing. He kind of, I mean,
it fucks me off personally,
but it's,
whatever. I don't separate my art from the artist, but some people do. And if you want to make a sandwich or you want to have like 2 slices of toast, you do your thing.
I just want toast.
Oh, a toast would be nice right now, wouldn't it?
But yeah, so it's I'll be waiting with bated breath to see who else is added up to the lineup. But
Same.
after the
Pretty
roaring
good.
success of this year, and once again, well done to the entire team for putting
10
it
out
all
of 10.
together. It's definitely got me revitalized and excited for what's going to happen next year.
Hell yeah.
And roll on Damnation.
Roll on Damnation. Roll on Bloodstock 2022. Plague Years 2022. I can't fucking wait. Like, it's great. Music's back. It's healed, everyone.
Yeah. And also, on an unrelated note, for any wrestling fans out there, CM Punk returned. The rest of CM Punk? Yeah, he returned to the rival promotion, AEW, last night, which was massive news in the wrestling scene.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I only say that because there's so much crossover between metal fans and wrestling fans. But yeah, so I
We should
was up to
do-
4 a.m. last night watching his return. So
Maybe we should do like a thing where you like induct me back into wrestling. We can do some like reaction videos.
do some watch along to some matches,
Yeah, let's-
especially some of the New Japan matches, because some of them
I'd
you'll
love to.
definitely you'll love them.
I'd love that. And I'm obsessed with Sakuraba, so if there's anything with him in New Japan, I'd fucking love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's their style is so much stiffer and strike based, so I think you'll
I'd
be
dig
into
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Sick. All right. So, any closing remarks?
No, just once again, what a roaring success and well done once again. If I say it once, I'll say it 100 times. So, but it was great. I had a great weekend. It was good fun.
Yeah, likewise.
And yeah, I just can't wait to attend more gigs.
Same. Yeah, thank you so much, Bloodstock. Thank you if you were at Bloodstock, if you saw us at Bloodstock, if you liked us at Bloodstock, if you hated us at Bloodstock, feel free to do the same and to continue. Throw us a like, throw us a subscribe, tell us what we should do next, who should we review, who should we see, and thank you for tuning in.
Till next time.
Bye.